Halloween Horror Nights 35 is shaping up to be an awesome event, and I cannot wait for opening day. Hello everybody, welcome. More icons, more IPs, new shows, and today we are going to cover everything we know, all of the houses, most everything is now pretty much confirmed, and just wait until you hear this lineup, you are going to be blown away. It's hard to believe that it is already almost Halloween season and we're just starting the summer. I mean, it just always is crazy to me how quickly this happens. Halloween starting in August here in Orlando is just insanity to me. This year, Halloween Horror Nights is opening earlier than it has ever opened in history on August 28th of 2026. Last year, it was August 29th. It just keeps getting earlier and earlier. Pretty soon, we're going to get Halloween Horror Nights starting in July. Officially, HHN 35 runs from August 28th to November 1st this year, and we officially have the theme for this year, which is the Infernal Carnival of Nightmares. It's all about Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellows this year, and all their craziness, all their history, everything circus and clown related. This whole place is going to be lit up like a circus. These are our ringmasters of fear, Jack and Oddfellow. Just the entrance alone to this, I really hope that they pull this. I hope that they are actually going to theme the front of Halloween Horror Nights this year like they have it in this concept art here, with these sort of lights coming down the sides and making it feel very much like you're going into like a circus tent or a circus event. I'm really hoping they pull that off because it's just going to set the tone right out of the gate for how crazy and wild this event is going to be, and I expect the circus to just expand and sprawl all across all of Universal Studios. I'm getting really amped for it. One of the big things that I noticed right out of the gate here was all this crackling sort of like energy that's going up and down the pillars and the gate of Halloween Horror Nights this year. This year's slogan is "Let Fear Consume You." We've had "See You in the Fog," "Never Go Alone," and I'm glad this year we've got a new slogan for the year. And what's most exciting is we have a banger year when it comes to IPs. And it looks like we're getting 5 IPs this year. Other years past, we've gotten 5. Sometimes we've gotten 3, sometimes 4. And we're getting 5 this year, which is exciting. So half of the houses will be IPs and half of them will be original. 2 big things that are different this year that have been like staples in past year are: 1, no Blumhouse. There's no Blumhouse IP or anything happening this year, and no Universal Monsters. Again, I think they're just Universal Monsters. You want to see that, go to Epic Universe. Leaving it out there for now, leaving it off the table when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights. They're kicking it to the curb, so to speak, and they've got other things planned. So let's talk really quickly about the icons for the year. Your primary icons, and I say primary this year because I feel like we're going to get a ton of icons. This year it is Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellow, as I already mentioned. Those are the primary icons for the year. But because this is Halloween Horror Nights 35, this is a special year. It's 35 years of fears, and I think we're just going to get an all-star lineup of icons, which we'll talk about when we get to that area. But I'm going to go ahead and throw up my map here. This is my current spec map I want to walk through, and most everything on this map is pretty much confirmed. I don't think things are going to change a whole lot. Maybe some of the naming is going to change a little bit because I'm speculating on some of the names, but I think the themes and the IPs are pretty much locked in at this point, and these are most likely going to be the locations. So let's go ahead and start off right here in the A location. When you first walk in, the very first house you're going to be greeted with on your left side there looks like it is going to be Evil Dead, specifically Evil Dead Burn, based on the new film that is going to be coming out this summer. Historically, this location hasn't had the best houses. They haven't been super impressive until last year, because this was the WWE location, and that house was freaking awesome. Like, I think it was a sleeper hit. Like, some people really weren't expecting it, and it kind of went, it was like off the chain a bit. So I'm hopeful that with Evil Dead being in this location, it's going to be like a really cool, faithful representation of the Evil Dead franchise. I think I've been waiting for an Evil Dead house for quite a while, so we'll see how that goes. The next location, B here, which is Soundstage 22. This is officially been confirmed and announced. Another house, Jack and Oddfellow, Chaos and Control. We've talked a little bit about this one in the past. This is going to be Dr. Oddfellow basically narrating on the way through this house. Basically, he's sort of controlling this house. You're in his world now, and it's going to show a little bit of the story about the rivalry between Jack and Oddfellow, and basically Jack being trapped in this world that Oddfellow controls, but Jack eventually wresting control away from Oddfellow and basically turning it into his nightmare for Dr. Oddfellow. And Jack is going to start actually narrating through the house, and you're going to see lots of different versions of Jack the Clown, including Jack before he was the clown. Lots of Easter eggs expected in this, things from the Jacked Up show. I think this is going to be a killer house. And this location last year was where El Artista was, which was one of the most visually breathtaking houses of the year for sure. So I'm hoping this is just a banger. Moving up to the C location, Soundstage 23B. Last year, this was the Five Nights at Freddy's haunted house, and this year it is Stranger Things, specifically Stranger Things final season. Expecting to see lots of different elements from that show, from that season in this particular house. I personally felt like the ending of Stranger Things was kind of a letdown for me, but I still feel like it's going to be cool to see some of the things from that season. I love Stranger Things. This had to be the year for it. We had to get closure. This will probably be the last Stranger Things house that we see, unless they end up doing more like they're doing with the animated version right now. I'm happy to sort of cap off a Halloween Horror Nights with season 5 of Stranger Things. Now moving to D here, Soundstage 24B. This is one of the locations where we haven't historically had some good, really like super awesome houses. Graves of Flesh was there, Triplets of Terror, Dueling Dragons. They were okay houses, but nothing really to write home about. It looks like this year we're getting some sort of, I'm just going to refer to it as like the town of Carrie, the scary zoo. Cannibal animals is a phrase that they used in the past on the Hollywood Terror Tram. It was sort of a line that was used there. And it's sort of expected that that element is going to come into play in this particular sort of zoo. I'm assuming going to be themed around the town of Cary, Ohio, which has been a staple in past seasons of Halloween Horror Nights. Moving over to the E location right next door there. This is the Ozzy Osbourne house. Last year it was Terrifier, which was a killer, awesome house, probably one of the top houses ever. And I think Ozzy Osbourne, I think this is going to be a really cool house. Ozzy has obviously passed away at this point, but I think this could pay respects to Ozzy. Very similar to what they did with Bray Wyatt for the Wyatt 6 house last year. They could do something very tasteful and really cool there, hoping that we get something similar for Ozzy Osbourne. There was recently an interview with one of Ozzy's kids where he was asked specifically about, is there going to be a house for Ozzy this year? He didn't really answer the question, so we don't know what to think about that, but everything that we're hearing looks like Ozzy still in play, and it's going to happen here in this house. Moving over to the Fast and Furious location, HR Blood and Guts is finally making his, I'd say, major debut here at Halloween Horror Nights. Lots of background on HR Blood and Guts, kind of like an Elvira type TV host for a creature feature show. He obviously turns bad. He's got ties in with Lady Luck, who's one of the big icons of Halloween Horror Nights. I expect this house to have lots of scares, but also a lot of laughs, a lot of comedy. That's sort of his style. So comedic elements with scary elements. Now it's going to be, hopefully it's like a really interesting house. And there's been some pretty good bangers at this location. Jason Universe was really cool, all the different versions of Jason. Chucky was there, which I was so surprised they pulled off Chucky. I mean, I thought Chucky was going to be the lamest thing ever, but somehow they pulled it off, and it was cool as heck. So I'm hoping it's something like on the level of Chucky, where you can get this kind of like weird, what might be funny, but also still ends up being kind of a scary house. Let's move over to Sprung Tent 3 there in the back. This is the G location there, and it looks like we are, in fact, getting Hellraiser. It's been some back and forth with that. Are we going to lose it? Are we going to keep it? Is it going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It looks like Hellraiser is in. It's going to be it. So I'm excited for this. A lot of people have been waiting for a Hellraiser to make an appearance at Halloween Horror Nights, and it looks like this year is finally the year. Right next door, Sprung Tent number 4 in the H location. It looks like this is going to be the Sinners location. We've kind of popped this around on the map a few times here, but it looks like this is where it's ended up landing. A little bit confused because it's a sprung tent instead of like an actual sound stage where some of the better houses tend to be. But that being said, there's enough space in that sprung tent to do a really good house. They just really haven't done a lot of great houses in the sprung tents so far, so we'll see. I feel like there could have been better locations for this house, to be totally transparent. I think specifically like the eye location, which is also a sprung tent, but it has lots of grass and things in front of it, where they could do kind of more of like a Sinners front sort of facade there that's maybe a little bit better than what they may end up doing for this back location, because there's a lot of concrete back there. But we'll see. They could do something really cool. And I'm a huge fan of Sinners. I think that was a sleeper hit for me. Obviously, I knew nothing about the film at all when I went and saw it, and it was completely blown away. Obviously, Oscar winning film, so it just made sense this was coming this year. So I, for one, am here for it. I hope they pull it off with the sprung tent. All right, coming around over there by Men in Black, we've got the eye location, another sprung tent here, sprung tent 2. I think, again, this is where I think Sinners could have done a better job as far as being able to do more with it. But this is currently slated for something we're calling Killer Cosmetics. Don't know the official name for it yet, but the theme about it is going to be something to do with BuzzCon, the cosmetics industry. This is where Dolls was last year. I think Dolls and this cosmetics thing matches up pretty well. They can make a lot of updates and changes to this particular location, but it still kind of fits a similar theme. BuzzCon is like the evil enterprise that is responsible for like the toxic 20s scare zone we had last year with all the chemicals spilling. They were responsible for bugs eaten alive and all the experiments that were being done here. And now this year it looks like it's going to be about vanity and cosmetics and beauty and what they can do with that. And then our last house there in the J location, sprung tent number 1. This looks like it is going to be the invasion of Lightning Gulch. And this looks like it is a combination of 2 different original houses and original scare zones that were done in the past. It's bringing together this sort of like Curse of Lightning Gulch, like sort of Western theme that was done with this more alien invasion theme, and bringing them almost like Cowboys and Aliens, if you've seen that movie. And sort of tying those 2 storylines together. So maybe aliens were the ones responsible. When lightning strikes this area, the ghosts and the curse of the Lightning Gulch comes to life. It looks like we're going to get the ghosts of all the cowboys that have been cursed in this Lightning Gulch, and these aliens. I don't know, maybe it's going to be aliens versus cowboy ghosts. I don't know, but it sounds pretty interesting. So 5 killer IPs this year. I'm curious what you think about those IPs. Evil Dead, Ozzy Osbourne, Stranger Things, Sinners, and Hellraiser. That just sounds like an awesome lineup to me. I am super excited, but the original houses tend to be pretty freaking good too. The IPs is what gets you in the door, but the original houses is what keeps you coming back. So we'll see. I think it's a killer lineup. Let's move on now to the scare zones. Again, I look at this entire event as being like a circus takeover. Jack the Clown, Dr. Oddfellow is permeating the entire event. In the K location scare zone there, right when you first enter, this is your entrance scare zone. As you're walking in, this is what you're experiencing at that sort of crossroads there. This is the Ringmasters of Fear. Jack and Oddfellow going to be very prominent in this location, setting the stage. And when you first walk in, you're going to look at it and go, I don't understand. Dr. Oddfellow, Jack the Clown look like they're on the same team. I thought they hated each other. And so then you're going to get some of the backstory when you go into the haunted house that they've got sort of right nearby there. So it's like you're going to get 2 parts of the story there, and it's all going to make sense. So I'm excited to see how this scare zone comes to life. Over in the L location there, up near the Mummy, this is, I'm just referring to this as clowns, killer clowns specifically. It could be killer clowns from outer space, which we've heard we might be getting in Hollywood. It could just be general killer clowns, like basically Jack the Clown's underlings. We're not sure, but if you're scared of clowns, you're going to want to avoid this scare zone altogether. One of the biggest updates that's happened that I'm actually excited for is the Club Horror location, M there, right in front of Fast and Furious. Previously, we were thinking this was just going to be another repeat of Club Horror, which I personally am not a big fan of because it's basically just DJ music masquerading as a scare zone. And it's great if you want to hang out at a bar and drink, but there's tons of bars and places to drink at Halloween Horror Nights. I don't know that we needed another one, but hey, here we have it. So if you're a fan of the area, great. But it looks like they're upgrading it this year so that instead of it just being a generic DJ that's running the music, it looks like we're getting Pumpkin Lord. And Pumpkin Lord, the entrance of that year's Halloween Horror Nights with Pumpkin Lord in that big giant pumpkin, talking smack to everybody that walked in, was pretty much the highlight of the event for me. I thought that was fantastic. So then bringing Pumpkin Lord as basically, I don't know, maybe like the DJ, or maybe talking smack or whatever during this sort of like club horror atmosphere, still kind of this party atmosphere and club and bar atmosphere, but just elevated to have Pumpkin Lord in it. Now I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of excited to see what it turns out to be. I still don't think it's going to be really a scare zone per se, but it sounds interesting. I'm excited if hopefully it comes to fruition. Pumpkin Lord himself on X actually tweeted out, he actually said the Pumpkin Lord's realm is returning. So I feel like that's a pretty good indicator that we're getting this. Now, right over here in the end location, this is right out there in front of the Animal Actors area, leaving The Simpsons. We've reported on this already. It looks like Fort Nightmares is still in play. It looks like we are going to be getting a Fortnite scare zone. Most likely all centers around Peely the banana. So expect to see the ghost of Peely and maybe some different variations of Peely, a lot of different Peely skins that are out there for Fortnite. Expect, obviously, Fort Nightmares is a big event that happens seasonally in the game of Fortnite. It's all going to be about that. We'll get some new variation here. Sounds pretty cool, especially if you're a Fortnite fan. Now, right next door over in the O location, Mel's Drive-In. I'm going to keep this on my map because I think we're going to be getting something here, probably with roller skates again. Don't know exactly what the theme will be, but we know they did put a call out for roller skate actors once again this year, so probably going to be on skates. Could be the same as last year or very similar to what we got with the zombies. We'll see. And then the biggest scare zone of them all is the P location, which I'm just referring to, the 35 Years of Fears. I'm thinking this is going to be like the scare zone of the icons. Like all the icons through the years, through time, are going to be represented in this, each one with their own little like mini stage and photo opportunities, kind of like the Blumhouse scare zone that we got a couple of years ago, where you could do all these like cool photo ops with all these icons, these little miniature sets for them. Caretaker, Director, Usher, Chance, Lady Luck. Originally, I was thinking Pumpkin Lord, but now it looks like Pumpkin Lord's going to have his own scare zone. I don't think Jack and Oddfellow will be in this scare zone because they'll be right next door, but I think this is going to be like the icon scare zone. Now, we're getting 2 shows this year. I'm betting on it, so we're going to have a replacement for the Nightmare Fuel. That is officially gone off the table. Nightmare Fuel is not coming back here in the Q location. I'm putting my money on a Jack the Clown show of some kind. Something like maybe Jack and Chance Stay or Slay, which is the show at Universal's Las Vegas Unleashed area. Maybe some sort of Jack the Clown variety show like we've had in the past. That's what I'm putting my money on. Should be pretty cool. We're going to get a return of the Death Eaters up there in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And then the water show, I think, is going to make a return. Some sort of new Lagoon water show. Maybe a new version of the Ghoulish water show we've got in the past. So that's everything. I mean, it is a ton of stuff. I think most all this is locked in at this point. I don't know that we'll even do another spec map because I don't think things are going to change. But hey, you know what? If I hear more, we'll make some changes. But I think most of this is pretty much confirmed. So there may be a couple of things off, but I'm pretty sure this is what we're getting. So I'd love to hear what you think about this in the comments. Are you pumped? Are you jazzed? Is this what you're hearing? And what's your most anticipated house or scare zone? Love to hear from you down in the comments. This is going to be an awesome year, and I hope to see you there opening night. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this content. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Till I see you next time, the noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.